is. They've already played against each other once. What has Kaunos learned from their previous matchup? We are going to find out in this match. As FlipSid Tactics, they know what they got to do. Can they do it? The chase for top 2 is on. And Marky do that great kickoff from him. We see multiple players from Kaunos going towards that. As Cuck's putting the long clearance across over. And for Kaunos, what exactly have they got to do here? What do they have to avoid when they're up against FlipSid Tactics?
I mean, pretty much everything. FlipSid Tactics can handle the ball in any situation that is thrown at them. But right now, they cannot get outpaced.
Long clearance there from Zenzus. It's going to be easily cleared away by Marky, who's going to try and chase that one down, but Zenzus still on that, but ends up missing it. Here comes Marky all the way down to the other end of the field, but gets blocked onto it. So that's going to be cleared away. Cooks puts that one up high, looking for Marky. Shoots that one low, however, and Kaunos, they're doing well just sitting themselves back. That could go all the way. Zenzus tries to get an extra block onto that one. Zansizzle look to try and take that one just over the top. Now Marky, another air dribble from him. Gets up multiple touches, but Niels Cook sees that one coming. And Kaunos doing well just to slow the pace, not allowing themselves to concede early.
I hope FlipSid isn't relying on solo plays too much. We did just see a nice air dribble from Marky Duda, but to what end? It was into 2 defenders, and no one was anywhere near following up his pinch.
Played over to the side. That's going to be open for the time being, but Greasy has that one covered. Still 0-0. We're just over a minute into this matchup. Now Kaunos have already got Cucks to try and beat. Unfortunately, it is Cucks you've got to try and beat, but they've managed to get that one over to the side. Marky Duda, they're just in time, but still dangerous. Cucks has to try and get himself forward. Now Marky's got the ball yet again. He's been the ball carrier so far in this matchup, but still unable to do anything with it every single time, just getting blocked away. Zenzus, ball up high. There's going to be no follow-up onto that one. Going to allow Marky just to go for the easy clearance away. Only over to Dan. Dan takes too much time though. Pass out to the side. Cooks cannot find the goal. But you cannot afford to kill that ball dead when you're against Marky Duda. He is one of the best 1v1 players in the world. Great save there from Marky onto the crossbar.
Phenomenal on Kaunos to go from defense to offense. They're also retreating back so quickly. Look at how easily there's always somebody there in net, always somebody ready. Zenzus screeching right in, getting prepared for any more shots from the corner.
And as we come to reach the second half of the game, one goal becomes all that much more important, as time to respond is so much less. Niels Cook looking to try and go for the follow-up onto this. So Marky misses that ball. Zenzus also as well onto that. Very scrappy here from both of these two teams. And it was exactly as you said earlier on. If you were new to this and you were looking at the way they were playing, you would be saying, FlipSid, this really the world champions. Kaunos get the lead.
I honestly have no clue what happened here. We saw Marky Duda swung wide, I think, for boost. Looking like that back right boost is missing. I think Marky Duda swung back for that to try and get the wide angle, secure the boost, and also secure the ball. But it got past his midfield defender a bit much. And Niels Cook has been quite the striker for Kaunos so far in these last 2 series.
Really has been. Now FlipSid, they have to find themselves a way to respond to their 1-goal deficit. Cucks could try and do that, but that touch from Zenzus will take it away, only over to Greasy. And they'll try and pressure this into that final third. Still 2 minutes remaining in this matchup. Ball played up high, but blocked by Marky. Over to Cucks, but Dan, so good getting himself there before any sort of doink could come through from Kaunos. Long clearance, time ticking away. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining here. That 1-goal lead still stands. Greasy, one touch, going to reach correct his car. But Zenzus takes it away before he can get the second.
Now good dunks here from Marky Duda. FlipSid Tactics are trying to turn this around. They almost got a goal. And now Kaunos, so take a look at how quickly they turn this around, trying to read each other's passes. But one went unanswered, and now they're going to have to play tight defense. Yeah, Kaunos, their strategy is clearly counter, as they will try and force FlipSid to come forward way too much. FlipSid with one of the more aggressive rotations in the league. Great save from Greasy Meister. Ball was put almost directly into him, and now he can try and follow this one up. Put over the top there. Over into the corner. Marky has got Cucks. He tries to lay it up for him. But no goal coming through. We're into the final minute. FlipSid still down. Marky gets the demo. He tries to get another one onto Zenzus, but can't get the contact. Here's Marky yet again. He has been driving this offense and finally receives the pass. Greasy's weak touch ended up being a monstrous fake on Zenzus in net. And Marky Duda had no idea he was playing for this title, but that right there is the 500th goal scored in RLCS Season 3. He just earned a little secret title he wasn't ready for.
And to be honest, there's no more player more deserving. He is a SART-BC vet. He has been around the scene for so long. Kuxir tries to get it halfway through the animation of a flip forward. Very rare, using the rear end of his car to try and turn that one in. And we are back to an even game. Oh, no, we are not. Kuxir, great challenge.
Coming and stuffing that. I mean, the contest in general was a smart idea, but the 50-50 going that much in his favor. Niels Cook wanted to push that in, but you always have to try and be aware. Where am I pushing this? Towards the middle or towards the outside? He pushed that towards the middle, so the 50-50 had a larger chance of going into net. To reduce that, he may have wanted to push out to the outside so that his car remained between the ball and the net.
We've seen that become such a huge mistake by multiple teams so far this season, trying to dribble it out of their own area, and they just get challenged and they end up conceding. I think that's the 4th time we've seen it in the 3 weeks of gameplay that we have had so far. Dan pushes that one down, has to try and trap that one before Marky got to it. And Zensus gets a fake onto it, tries to follow, but cannot get there. Here's Niels Cook, double touch from him, over to Greasy. Dan turns that one in, he got bumped into it though.
What? I cannot believe this shot right here. Niels Cook getting the set, first touch, slamming it right in, and Greasy and Cooks here both going for that shot. Marky Duda coming to try and be the savior of the day, flying across from right side to left side of the net. But tying it up, Countdows are keeping up the pressure against our reigning champions.
Certainly are, but they will not want to take this one to overtime, as that is going to eventually touch the floor. Kaunos turning up here, but they did last time they played as well. They kept it so close up until that game 3, where they just got dismantled, so it could be more of the same. We are going to find out as we continue on here, although a win would be a very good way of stopping history from repeating itself and not allowing that sweep. Niels Cook puts that one down. What a great shot! Marky Duda couldn't reach it.
Angles from the corner. Kaunos has found their secret. Every single time it's in this corner, they are such a monstrous threat, and Niels Cook is absolutely on fire. So many shots, so many goals in these last 2 series, and they will take game number 1 against, that's right, FlipSid Tactics.
The world champions. History will not repeat itself. We have managed to get 1 win for Kaunos. Much better than they did last time, and now they're going to look to continue onwards to win the series. And after a gameplay like that, you honestly would not be surprised if they managed to go and do it.
I mean, they're doing a great job of bringing it back and forth on the field and always being prepared on defense. Very rarely were they kind of panicking. You see a lot of teams having to do that. I don't want to say panicking, but that quick reaction defense where you can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And teams are getting good at it, but it's also putting yourself in a tighter spot. And I didn't see a lot of FlipSid Tactics that I usually see. Not that many shots, 4 from Marky Duda, 3 from Cooks, and you see 1 from Greasy Meister. It's a little quiet from Greasy as well, but I think he's trying to let Marky Duda and Cooks here just do what they do best.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Kaunos, as you said, that defense so good right now. Doing more predictive rather than twitch defense, which is, we've literally just got to worry about your reaction speed. How quickly can you react to it? Are you even going to be able to? Because if that ball's far too far away, you are not saving it. So very good. Getting in front of FlipSid Tactics' faces and just saying, look, you're not going to score on me if I'm your entire screen.
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard, isn't it?
I'm losing my ability to analyze since everything is going. The wrong is not the right word I'm looking for.
It's EU. We've tried to predict this as much as we possibly can, and it is as unpredictable as it can possibly be.
That's what I'm looking for. Things are going haywire.
Certainly are. As Carp actually gave a thumbs up off screen there. Just wanted to point that one out. He is very happy with himself. As that's going to be a counter-attacking opportunity. Dan flicks that one up, looking for Niels Cook. Nice touch on there from him. Over to Greasy, though. Easy save. Over end of the field. Marky Duda drove that offense last game. Can he do it again this game? Might not matter. Niels Cook, the Kaunos version of Marky Duda, he has been on fire when it comes to his shooting. That's going to be in a dangerous position. Marky Duda in the correct position to clear that one away. And Kaunos showing up in this series. They might be only 1 win in this season, but they are not to be trifled with.
We are seeing FlipSid every now and then pull off all the skills they can do, but just not often enough because Kaunos is closing the gaps. We just saw a monstrous pass, honestly, from Marky Duda in the corner. He was coming from one of the weirdest spots possible, but he was still able to pull it off. But no one can connect on the shot because the defense from Kaunos has been just too much.
Trying to methodically get themselves to the correct player, not allowing any ball to be unnecessarily loose. And just shoot it down to the other end. Marky once again in that defense. That's going to be awkward again for FlipSid. Niels Cook tried to trap it, but Marky managed to get himself all the way down to the other end. Tried to tap that one down as he had Cucks available to him. FlipSid tactics, yet again, going for these passing plays, and they are always being read by Kaunos. 0-0. And we've still got 3 minutes left to play here. Cucks plays that one down over to Greasy, but once again, Dan just right in front of him. Committing so hard, shot onto target, no, it hits the crossbar. And Niels Cook's going to get an extra touch onto that, takes it away from his teammate. But there we go, an extra setup. And Kaunos doing so well at this 2-1 offense. A bump down onto Greasy, but it might not matter. Cucks gets that one down, looking for Marky Duda. An open goal to aim at.
There we go, finally seeking each other out. For the longest time, they've just been pushing out shots and pushing out passes and just being like, hey, I'm going to put this over here, you're going to go get it, right? They're not looking for each other. They're not putting the ball towards each other. And right there we saw, granted, Greasy got pushed into that bump. He did get the flick up, and eventually they were able to get enough touches off the backboard. But they're not looking for each other, and I think that's why their offense is just a little bit stifled.
Block there. Here's Cucks. Passes that to Marky, who just launches that one for a lofting shot, forcing two players from Kaunos to commit to it. That's going to be boost down for them. And Zenzus is also going. They've stolen both of the side boosts, but Kaunos, and more specifically Zenzus, just traps that ball against the wall, gets it away. Well played from him to avoid any sort of defensive catastrophe, although that could be one. Zenzus, after we just got done praising him, almost turns it into his own net.
That would have been pretty horrible, actually, but now 4 shots and 4 saves, Kaunos, really dividing up their offense and their defense accordingly. And, I mean, only down by 1 goal. They're doing pretty well.
Certainly are, but these passing plays are getting more and more frequent from FlipSid, finding each other, and that's going to be a great shot, but only over to Dan's Hizzle. Cucks continue to try and pressure this. Greasy flips that over to Cucks. It almost gets the doink, but hits the crossbar. And that's going to be cleared away. Kaunos, they are keeping in this. They've kept it down to 1 goal, but still struggling to find anything in offense.
Shogun's patented doink.
It's not mine, it's Cole's.
Oh, well, close enough. You didn't have to say that out loud.
I will always give credit to my team, Rocket Boy!
But either way, I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, we're seeing the touches coming out of both teams. Right now, FlipSid is struggling. And let's not forget, Kaunos has the first game in this series right now. It is FlipSid's turn to try and win these.
Great pass out there, over to Marky, launches it in! And you have got to find some way to prevent that if you are Kaunos.
Now they're looking for each other. Marky Duda had an uncomfortable amount of time to take that shot. You see how long he did it? He set it up, he got out his protractor, he got out his graphic calculator, he figured it out. He's like, all right, I think this is the angle. He took the shot, no one there to interrupt, and that is what happens when they don't interrupt. And seeing that happen shows that Kaunos has done a great job of stopping almost all of those shots from happening in the series.
The problem they've had is a lot of the offense towards Kaunos has been very direct. This time around, going for the passing plays might be the thing that it takes to get through that defense. As Dan and the rest of Kaunos got 50 seconds remaining. That could be 1, although it isn't quite there. And they still need to find themselves 2 goals as we head towards the end of this match. Cucks just plays that one up high. That's going to be going into the net and no one reacting. And Cucks will say thank you very much.
Giving a good old BM, slam on your brakes. He stopped as soon as that shot went off. He knew it was going to go over, and this is not what we've seen out of Kaunos at all. Wide open nets, not so tight defense, something we've been praising them on so far in these last 2 series, and to see it, falling flat right now is not the time, especially against FlipSid.
No, not a team you want to give momentum to at all. FlipSid tactics certainly are going to try and find their way through. The passing plays has worked out beautifully so far. Kauno's given them way too much space. Great touch there from Zenzus, but only over to an awaiting Cucks here. As Marky Duda passes straight out over to Greasy, who gave that one back to him. You can see from this FlipSid rotation, it's so unorthodox what they do. They are happy to commit 3 to it, as long as they know someone has got the boost to get themselves back.
And now we're starting to see their pace pick up. They will get themselves game number 2 of the series. It is a 1-1 tied up in the final series of the day. Kaunos took the first one. FlipSid took the second one. 3-0. It was 1-0 for a long time, but eventually they were able to tear it away. 10 shots for FlipSid Tactics and 6 shots for Kaunos. They are really starting to mount up the speed finally that we're used to seeing from FlipSid Tactics.
Yeah, it really was a mauling that we saw just there, constantly putting that pressure on, refusing to go away. I mean, you can see the shot difference, 10-6. That used to be not considered too big, but considering the competition we've had this season, that is huge. If you get more shots, you're way more likely to win. And when you've got a shooting accuracy like FlipSid Tactics do, you cannot afford to be losing the shot accuracy to them.
And Shogun, you want to try and think of like what happened to Kaunos defense that series that we hadn't seen so far. Why were there open holes? Why was there gaps in the rotation? Was it because of the pace of FlipSid Tactics? Maybe there were a few more bumps that we couldn't see that might have been off screen. We do know FlipSid, they love to bump. Marky Duda, Greasy. They really Cook's actually not so much. I think he's more the pacifist of the group.
He's very passive.
He's like, I just want to shoot. He's like, I'll just punish them in a different way. I'll just shoot it above their head when they're not paying attention. But you know, what is it that or maybe they're just having hiccups of their own. Maybe the pressure's kind of it starts to mount up. They've been playing for a while now. They're going. They played the last series all the way up to Game 5, and now they're playing against FlipSid Tactics. Maybe it's getting tough for them to keep their heads in the game.
So it could be 1 each now in terms of games won in this best-of-5 series. As we start game number 3, FlipSid Tactics versus Kaunos. In a game that is pretty much, considering the lay of the landscape, important to both of these teams that they get a win if they want to continue on to looking for either a top 2 spot or a top 6 respectively, as that ball is played over into the corner. Marky tries to go and get a block onto that, but Zenzus with the clearance. Pass over. Zenzus went for the demo onto Greasy, and there's going to be Greasy just hit away afterwards. As some sort of retribution for missing the original clearance. So now the pinch comes through. Greasy is going to be through on that one. He's got Marky Dudot as well, trying to chase that one down. Zenzus will try to do something smart with this. He cannot do it, though. Dribbling, very difficult. Probably not the most advised way of getting a ball out when you're taking on so many 1v1 just beasts that you have on FlipSid.
Can Zenzus get this up to Dan? Oh, Dan would have had a nice redirect towards the net, but it did get interrupted this time. FlipSid really trying to stop the plays of their own, trying to find the ways to just prevent any shots from going onto them.
Greasy, ball up high, but he's not going to be able to follow it. It's going to allow Zenzus, but too much contact means Dan has just to go for a hopeful block, which was pretty much never going to happen. Counter-attack here. Pass over to Greasy. Greasy, not much power onto that shot, though. That's going to allow the clearances to come through. A very slow-paced game we are seeing from both of these two teams. Happy to just go for the long clearances rather than try anything, but here comes the dribbling attempt, saved by Greasy and pinched up against the wall.
Phenomenal. Trying to get that past the FlipSid defenders, something I don't think most people would confidently approach. But it did get it past 2 nearly towards the target, but just hit the post. And this is going right over Marky, though.
Marky misses it. Shot comes in from Greasy. But also nothing too dangerous for Kaunos to deal with. Marky yet again. Still not getting contact. And now there's no one back here. Greasy's got to try and scramble himself and get himself around the ball because he's got no one challenging him for a long period of time. Both of these teams happy to play defense, and the unfortunate thing about that is that when both teams are happy to play passively, nothing really happens.
No, and you know, I feel a bit for FlipSid. They're going to be a bit under the microscope right now. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for... Oh, did the fake mind game almost work out in Cooks here? Trying to be able to score without even touching it.
Well, Kaunos continuing to sit back, going for that 2-1 rotation. As Cook's going to chase this one down, but beat to it by Zenzus. Just more and more long clearances. Every time it's cleared away, that's going to be a pass over to Marky. And that's going to go all the way coast to coast. Niels Cook, you said he was the shooter on this team. That is still an exception.
I mean, yeah. You're not wrong. 109 kilometers per hour.
Didn't even touch the floor.
That was a shot. I'm at a bit of a loss for words there, Shogun.
Niels Cook well-known fact, used to be playing Javelin, because he just showed it right there to us. Goes all the way across the field. As now, Kaunos find themselves in the lead, and I don't expect to see their gameplay change all that much. They were playing pretty defensively beforehand. Now with a lead, they have got no reason to overcommit. That's going to be Zenzus. Plays that one up high. He's got Niels Cook in support. Dan only over, but Marky is on that wall, should easily deal with that one. And Niels Cook and the rest of this Kaunos team just doing so good at looking at whatever FlipSid are trying to do and just shutting it down. They don't even get to a point where they can even take a shot, although 2 players committing there from Kaunos. That's going to be a demo there. Marky shot onto target, and it's just slowly dismantling Kaunos.
How on earth did he get this corner angle? Marky going for it. I guess the moment Cooks got demoed, he realized, like, oh, I guess I got to go for this. But there was no hesitation. He was still boosting. I imagine he was going to follow up Cook's year's hit or vice versa. But the moment he realized he had to take the shot, phenomenal accuracy from Marky Duda. Oh, will he get an early goal? Right here he does! The dunk on Zenzus, and within seconds they take the lead in game number 3.
If you looked away from the screen for anything more than a second, you would have thought Kaunos were still in the lead. Unfortunately for you, FlipSid Tactics have scored 2 in a row, and that is going to be killer for Kaunos, who now have to try and adapt themselves, play more offensive, and get themselves forward.
There you go. There's going to be a dunk from Cooks here. But again, FlipSid really just don't seem to be seeking each other out as much. And as I say that, Marky Duda from the corner again. I think this may have been an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, but there's one good thing about this. It's a doink.
Oh, what?
It's a doink on goal.
Yes! A doink on goal.
Oh, dearie me. That is probably the worst way I've seen a lead given up. And there, here we come. Fake kickoff from the F3 boys, although Niels Cook, I've never seen someone just cut that one out halfway through. But he does do it there. Greasy's going to start styling on this one. And there's the shot onto target. And it has just fallen apart for Kaunos.
I don't really know what happened. The ball's been dropped. Not too great here for Kaunos going into the next game. They will be 1 game away. I imagine this is going to be a loss for them. They probably wanted to start thinking about the next game in the series. You know, how are we going to return the favor to FlipSid Tactics? The only goal we saw from Kaunos was a wild cross-field shot from Niels Cook. Niels Cook?
Yeah, I think you get it right.
Man, their whole team, their names, man.
Zenzus, I love you. Kux plays that one down. That is number 5. I just don't know where it's gone wrong here for Kaunos. They just don't look in it all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this, you know you're 4 goals down. So you lose pretty much all your ability to want to react really quickly because you're kind of taking your own brain power away. It really does get mentally fatiguing.
Yeah, but they've almost conceded almost all of these 5 goals within a minute.
Yeah,
that is terrifying to me right now. The fact that they were in control, their defense that was holding up so solid, and honestly, yeah, FlipSid did well, but I feel like Kaunos have just gifted this to them.
But now we're going to see him actually putting it down the field, trying to make a play happen. But again, yeah, no, this game easily going over to FlipSid Tactics, but for a while, Kaunos in the lead for about 3 minutes in this game. Thinking that Kaunos might have taken game number 3. I'm sure they might be a little defeated, a little disappointed. But again, they've been playing so well against our reigning, world champions. I mean,
yes.
Nothing to laugh at. The fact they're doing this well is impressive, to say the least. And like I said, haywire, man. No way can I predict how each game's going to go.
No, really wasn't. That one was definitely an anomaly in terms of how it played out. FlipSid Tactics get what ends up being a comfortable win, but it took them until 90 seconds remaining in the matchup before they even scored a goal.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's hard. It's hard for us over here. We don't really know what to say about when stuff like that really happens. FlipSid Tactics obviously showing their resolve. They have not changed the way they have been playing. They are just playing good. They really are playing at the level that we would expect them to be playing. Kaunos, we were saying it earlier for leftovers, it's like a switch that goes on.
Yeah.
Maybe Kaunos have got the exact same switch, and someone needs to just flick it upwards a little bit.
I mean, they could, and I think they're probably one of the more defensive dominant teams I've seen in a long time, or at least defensive comfortable teams. When they are on defense, which they are relatively often, this time only 2 saves though, so not a whole lot for them. FlipSid doing all the saves that game with 6 saves. But Kaunos, when they are there, there's always somebody back way sooner than I'd expect them to be. Usually a lot of teams like to dedicate that third man to going up, and then somebody that's on the retreat plays the retreating defense where they try and interrupt the ball and just buy time for their team to retreat. But for Kaunos, it's not that case. Someone's always coming from the net to interrupt the ball and to slow the pace down. Going into this next game, though, if FlipSid take it, they'll have the series, but it's probably looked way closer than they wanted it to be.
Certainly, as I don't think they wanted to lose anything when it came to their overall win percentage, which could end up being big later on down the line. FlipSid have already been taking part in what was a 5-game series, but then again, we've seen a lot of them so far in this, and that's going to be a great response there. Dan Hizzle comes out bunny ears, and that could be a 24-carat goal.
We've seen them opening up the games before, but can they keep the lead? Dan and Cooks here trying to reach that ball together, and Dan was able to get the reaction time and the shot above him in time to get that first shot with only, what, 12 seconds in, 13 seconds in?
Yeah, but we've seen them in this position before, taking the early lead. Greasy almost managed to get the immediate response. Two players committed to that, and they have got the response. 2 goals within 23 seconds.
They don't like losing for very long, that's for sure. Micah Duda with the 50 on Dan, and Niels Cook wanted to pop that up over Cooks. He wasn't able to do so in time. Micah Duda securing the goal, although I believe that was going in anyways. And there it is, 1-1.
I think Marquis just upset about the fact that his shooting hasn't been as high as it previously is. So he's just like, give me all of them, so I can get my stats back up there, because he has been a shooting menace.
I mean, he now has 1 goal with 0 shots.
That is impressive. That is how you get your stats up. Over into the corner. Still 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Great passing play there from Zenzus over to Dan Hizzle. But Cux has that one scouted. He's now 1v1! And that is why you do not do that against Cux. Don't give him any space.
You cannot give him space. In this case, Zenzus would have had to contest. Dan Hizzle was following shortly behind. But would he have even been able to say that? I do not know. Honestly, I thought he was going to pass that off. He had a teammate mid to give it to. Doesn't matter for Cooks here, man.
That is the pain if you are the defender. You've got to make a choice. Are you going to go for the block onto the dribble from Cux, or you're going to have to look at the teammate coming in? Either way, it could end up being a wrong decision. It's Cux. Block onto that. Dan Hizzle tries to clear it, but here comes Cux yet again. Cux has really found his groove in this matchup. And we saw it last time. When it came to FlipSid trying to take that 3rd game, they ended up annihilating it. It's starting to look the same here.
Zenzus getting caught in the corner. We put their defense on a pedestal, and Kaunos now seems to be suffering from the FlipSid tactics pressure. We know what they can do, and we've done it time and time again here at the RLCS, and now they're really just starting to break down Kaunos nearly mentally.
The individual plays from FlipSid end up coming out with great team plays, but Dan! Oh my goodness!
He still wants the highlight reels, even if they might not get this series, following through. Beautifully placed just under the crossbar. Marky Duda tried to get the read. Even he underestimated him. Dan Hizzle.
That is so crucial as well to Kaunos. We were starting to write them off. They have just reaffirmed to us that no, they can play, and they are still in this series. 2-1 currently in games. 3 minutes 35 seconds remaining, and only 1 goal separates these teams. Greasy up there first, gets it over to the middle. Marquis looking for Cux, but Cux has been beat to that by Dan, who got the interception. Played that one over. The passing play can't get contact onto it though, and Marquis will thankfully clear that one. Only over to the corner. Cux and Marquis will try and come together, but it's going to be Greasy by himself, bravely coming out for that one. Considering if he lost that 50-50, Kaunos were through on goal. Here's Greasy, gets his shot blocked by Niels Cook. And Kaunos can go onto the counter here. We've seen how dangerous they can be. But now FlipSid have got themselves into the correct position to try and deal with it. And these whiffs coming through from both teams. Neither of them expecting it. So neither team can really take advantage of it, but still they are happening. Shot! 3-3! We've still got half this game to go!
Just bouncing back and forth and back and forth. Greasy wanted that clear, and Dan Hizzle just absolutely dunked that through him. Cooks here went up a bit too early, thinking the shot was coming from the corner, but Niels Cook again coming in, striking for his team, tying it up. Can Kaunos stay alive in the series against FlipSid Tactics?
The switch has been flicked, and Kaunos look like an entirely new team all of a sudden, not allowing FlipSid to do what they want in their half, although that is a great challenge from Greasy. Puts that one up high. Marky is going to leave that over to Cooks here, and this is a high-scoring game.
This was the most high-risk mind game I've ever seen in my life. Marky goes up, and last second, he just bails and lets Cooks here come for it. You saw Niels Cook had absolutely no clue Cooks was coming for that shot. He was waiting on the backboard, knowing Marky was probably going to hit it high, and Cooks here came in. 1 goal up, but still half the game left.
I feel like with 7 goals scored, we need to put that reminder out there that the leading amount of goals scored in one match for this season is 11 across both teams. That record seems to be very much in jeopardy here. It's Greasy gets that to the corner. Cucks extra touch onto that to take away defender, but Niels Cook gets an unintended touch onto that to ruin that play for FlipSid. Marky can follow this, uncontested, turns that one down, save there from Zenzus. And Kaunos still within 1 goal of this matchup. But that's it yet again, you do not dribble that close to your own net.
Especially against FlipSid, they love contesting nearly everything. Marky Duda and Cooks here trying to seek each other out, trying to give and go. Can Greasy get this out?
That's
he puts it towards the net.
That's a tough save there from Zenzus as well. But here come Kaunos. 2 against 1. That one is Greasy. Ends up being no one touching the ball though, so nothing happening with that. Kaunos take the ball all the way to their own half to try and reset. Now 90 seconds remaining. 3 goals to 4. And if FlipSid win this, they will take the series. That shot is not on target. Zenzus still felt the need though to put that one up high. And they've committed 2 players to that. Cucks will just launch that one, but doesn't get the contact he wants, and Kaunos can reposition themselves.
Kaunos almost getting there, and every now and then you'll see FlipSid seeming like they're on a nice park walk. A little too much room to breathe to make Kaunos play comfortably. They want to shut these down, but there it is, a shot just a bit too high, hits the crossbar. Greasy trying to read that bounce. Yeah,
and FlipSid's positioning have just become really good. They are predicting everything Kaunos is doing, trying to get themselves in the right position so they can block it before any sort of offense can come out. And Kaunos are running out of time on this one, 40 seconds remaining, as Marky just displaces that one over into the corner. And FlipSid will just try and run out the clock, although that's a bit too close there from Cucks. But they've still got Marky back there. 30 seconds remaining. Kaunos, they're going to have to come up with something. They cannot beat FlipSid tactics individually. They have to come up with team play. So Marky Didos should get himself back in time for that. But here's Kaunos in the offense, plays off the side. Zenzus is not going to be needed. Niels Cook, the offense is back.
What is that, 6 shots from the same corner? Niels Cook again, bringing it into Kaunos just when they need him. The power, the height, the accuracy, everything you need out of the guy as soon as he needs it. He will bring it to his team. 4-4 with 18 seconds left. Kaunos trying to bring this series to a Game 5.
And from that position, you usually expect any player to try and go for a passing play using the backboard. Instead, just goes for it immediately. Sends us out of position there. Greasy tries to put that into a danger area, but nothing can come for it, and Dan's Hizzle can clear that one away. Puts that one down, and a crucial overtime for Kaunos.
Too much pressure right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to come out of this, but I have faith. I think Kaunos has the skill. They just have to make sure that all those hiccups that they may have had, the small hiccups throughout this last 2 series, they can keep those tight right now. They've got a really good shot.
Well, they've got to get someone back right now because Cooks here takes advantage of the mistake. Kaunos, you put up a valiant fight, my friends, but FlipSid Tactics, the world champions, continue their reign.
That bump on Marky Duda really shutting down that defense. Just when I was saying all Kaunos has to do is make sure they don't make the minor mistakes. 2 of them got kind of near the ball, and I think he had a pretty good shot at making that save, although it would have been risky and a tight shot indeed. But Marky getting the bump on his way over, it left it wide open for his teammate. FlipSid Tactics in an excruciatingly close series. Even though it says 3-1, this felt like a Game 5, bringing it all the way. Kaunos keeping up. There's 9 goals scored. Kaunos scored 4 goals on FlipSid Tactics, bringing it to overtime.
Yeah, that was a heck of a series right there. Kaunos, I mean, we looked at this one earlier on and we thought, right, we can predict this one quite easily, but this series ended up being a diamond in the rough. Kaunos, almost want to see more of that offense out from them. They are not a good team when they play slowly, and we saw that when they just dropped games so easily. And then we see this game come out. That was an entirely new team. That was a team with lethal accuracy and great team play.
Especially from that corner. I think I counted 6 goals from the left corner, maybe 5. An uncomfortable amount. Usually we see like every some teams can pull it off like once per series. They get one really nice tight angle from the corner. But we saw 6 from the left corner alone, let alone the right. There were a few as well. They're taking the shots when they know that teams aren't expecting it. I think a lot of people they're just going to underestimate Kaunos going in, but they played amazingly, and Flipside Tactics is going to get the series.
Well, we've talked about it all day, and we couldn't find any reverse sweeps.
No.
I've looked all over the place. I can't find it anywhere. Maybe we can find them over at